let's take a look at an update on the New Life Tax Team Ministry. Joy in the City is a program that highlights people and organizations having an impact in our city. All too often, we hear about the problems and dysfunction in our culture, but we are coming with a different approach as we take a look at the good things that are going on right here in our community. I'm Bethany Marshall, and you're about to see what God is doing in our city. We have been doing a series of health and wellness shows, and we'll continue with that next week as we discuss the mental health needs. But this week, we're going to give an update on a story we did a few years ago about a local tax ministry. They have been featured in the Altoona Mirror and on local news in recent weeks, but we want to provide a more extensive update on this unique ministry. Troy Ferguson sat down with Scott Seifer recently about the latest information on the New Life Tax Team.
So we did the story a couple years ago on Joy in the City about the New Life Tax Team, and it was a very cool situation. I knew different people were involved, but things have changed since then. So talk to me a little bit about what has the numbers and exposure and what's changed since we did this story.
So what happened was when you did the story that year, it went up. So we had like about 240 the year previous. The year you guys did the story, it was about over 400 people, with $500,000 of returns, right, of refunds. So I was like, okay, this is gonna start getting big, right? So we're promoting. I since have gotten it onto Forever Media. They started on it. So there's a couple different radio stations. Rev FM is always there, and this year they put it on the Altoona Mirror. So in tax year 2018, we jumped up to 600 people, worth about $870,000 in refunds. Right, last year 760 returns with 1.1 million. Right, and what we did was we take donations. So we started for free at first, man. It was, we've been doing it for about 10 years. And we started for free. But I could see the vision that God had, right? That there's organizations out there that fundraise throughout the whole year, right? And this is a way they can kind of relax, right? They don't have to fundraise. Like, I'll go out there and do taxes for them. Get donations. Like last year we got 19,000. We're looking about 30,000, right? But I'm praying big, right? I'm praying that the Lord amazes me. That it's not 30,000. Hey, 50,000. How about 100,000? I tell people it's a $10, at least a suggested $10. But if you want to give more, and people will. They'll give because the places we're giving to are, no kidding, making an impact in the community, right? In the community. That's the thing, is they're going out. These are organizations that go out and help people that are really hurting, So we give them a little bit of a taste through a tax thing just to meet the need. That's all God really, Jesus let us know, meet the need, right? And that's what we're doing. We're meeting the need. And from there, and I form relationships throughout the 10 years, man. I can't tell you how many relationships. People in the summertime, they go, hey, there's a tax guy. And I with that, it's, I get to meet them like a half an hour to an hour every year. But with that, form relationships and everything, it's amazing. It really, truly is.
So one of the things that people may not realize is, you're not doing just, very, very simple, easy breezy taxes. You actually do things for businesses, for pastors that are quite complex. And typically they're going to pay several $100s, if not more, to an accountant or to someone who is certified to handle that kind of stuff. You guys are being able to accomplish a wide variety of things. So when people look to pay a donation, it's a minimal fraction compared to what they would expect to pay in the industry. So I just want people to know that they, if I'm not mistaken, they are not just one little family, one income. This is multiple incomes, home businesses, and you guys really kind of take it all, right?
Right. So what And that's a very good point. So a lot of the places that do it for low income or anything like that, there's an age limit and there's income limits, right? And I get asked all the time, what are the limitations for yours? I like, really, if you have a corporation, if it's a corporate tax, you really need to, because there's a lot of schedules with that, right? I don't want to take something on that I might not, not know 100% about, right? So the thing about it is for the other stuff, we take on anything. I mean, business, we do a lot of pastors ones. We do simple ones as well. I mean, so we'll do the whole gamut. I mean, if I talk to you and I think it's over our head and everything, I'm going to tell you, even if you're going to give me a real big donation, I'm going to tell you, because it is your tax return. It is the person's tax return, and I want to get it right. So
you've been doing this for about 10 years, you said?
Yes.
And when you did taxes for people,
yes,
and they got refunded, what did that amount come out to?
So the total will be 1.1 million.
So 1.1 million last year.
Yeah.
And what do you remember way back when you first started it about what it was?
Yeah, when I first started, just let you know, the first year we did it, we had 2 people. So it was like you're lucky if you get $5,000, right? Because I had to earn that trust, Pastor Troy. I really had to earn the trust of the community, right? And people do trust me now. People are like, hey, I heard from somebody else, heard it from somebody else. It's really, this is a great thing, but sharing it with somebody that used it is wonderful because they trust that person, So that's the big thing about it is it's only going to get big. It's only going to get bigger. 1.1, who knows?
That's awesome.
Out of the 10 years, we did over 3.1 million in refunds.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And how many people do you have that actually work doing this aside from yourself?
Yeah, so our team consists of myself and 8 other people. Now, the way the tax program is set up, because I have some people down in Chambersburg working and some people up in Mechanicsburg working, right? So it's an online version. It's secure. It's through, it's like a tax slayer professional program. So it's online and we get to, all I do is flip a return to somebody, and the person down in Chambersburg, I'll just text them and say, hey, I got your return. They get online. They just need Wi-Fi at any place. Obviously, they use it at their house and everything. It needs to be secure there. They'll get on and work a return. Because what we do is scan the documents. I'll put them onto that profile into the tax program, and people will be able to see them when they open it up. So it's pretty cool.
That's
really
very
neat.
cool. So you're expanding not just financially in numbers, but area as well.
I mean, I can't tell you right now. I think about 10% of our people are outside the central PA area. We got Florida. We got, it's takes a little bit of time going back and forth and everything, but we can do it.
And last question, with someone utilizing this ministry, granted what they're giving a donation to a great cause and ministries in the area, but what would be another benefit that someone would use this other than just using something that's quick online? What's a benefit that someone would experience by going with you?
Well, one thing is I have about 30 years experience in the tax service. I was in the military. In fact, I just got a call yesterday from somebody that lived in Switzerland, right? They just got a retirement through, they lived in Switzerland, they came back here and and they asked people, they were like, hey, what do I do with this? They actually some people that were taxed, and I have that experience because I was overseas, I was stationed there. So I did a lot of the service people's tax return, but I also did people that spouses that worked on the economy. So they got paid in British pounds, right? So what do we do there, right? Well, there's a foreign tax credit that they get. And that's the same thing on this individual. So I've seen it all. I kind of did it all in the 30 years. But, that's what you're going to get. That's what a person wants, right? They want to go to a place, and I see it all the time, man. Either out on Facebook or just, people talking. I want a cheap place, but I want experience. I want somebody that knows what they're doing. On my returns, the 760 returns we did last year, I got to see every one of them. So the way we have the tax program set up is the people might go out there and put the documents in, but who hits the button to send it to the IRS is me, because I go review every one of them. So it's a daunting task. It really is. And we're looking for 1,000 this year, man. That's what our goal is. 1,000 returns, people's returns, in 2.5 months to do, right? So if anything, I need prayer, right? Prayer for strength. But in the same sense, I know God's going to do amazing things here.
Indeed. Well, let me just say, I know many people that have created ministries for a variety of causes and different things that they do. This is something that I feel is so unique, but yet so powerful for the individuals in churches. And it is indeed a ministry. And what you provide for people, that personal touch that they don't get with a computer program. Even if the numbers are the same in the end, the personal touch that you give, the confidence that someone has that this is the best, most accurate way to do this. Plus, it's a ministry. There's just something about that I feel is like none other. And I just want to tell you, I really appreciate what you and your team are doing. I see a few churches that do this here and there, larger churches that might help their congregation, but you guys are doing this for an entire community, an entire region, and even growing beyond that. And I just think it's a tremendous thing you're doing. I just want to tell you, thank you from one of the pastors in this area for what you're doing for our community.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Scott.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
This community-minded ministry is thriving, and we are so excited to see what God is doing through this team. Here are a few testimonials from our previous recording of the New Life Tax Ministry.
I'm a single mom of 3 children, and I was looking for someone to help me with taxes. I came across Tim on Facebook. A friend of mine shared a post that he was offering services for free, so I gave him a call.
Well, my husband and I normally do our own taxes, and last year it was very difficult. It didn't look anything like what we were used to, and I had mentioned that to Pastor Troy, and he then referred me to Scott.
Well, it used to never be just a church ministry. It was kind of an individual thing, and Scott had offered to give me that service.
Yes, I had a question, and I went to Scott to see if he could help me with it, and he had the answer.
Well, I was going to outside tax services, and they were charging an arm and a leg. I spoke with Scott, and he let me know that there were certain things I could claim that none of the other tax services were even letting me know that I could claim that.
He did far more than I ever expected. He did our local taxes. He found money in ways that we probably should have used him 10 years ago, honestly.
I got connected with Scott and the tax team about a year ago whenever I was looking to do our taxes. And as a pastor and someone who has a small business on the side, it's always been challenging, all the details and all that kind of stuff. So I heard about Scott, and interestingly enough, I'd contacted him thinking, well, he's not going to be able to handle everything that I have because I have so many options. And he was able to do it with a breeze. His knowledge, his expertise is phenomenal.
We asked about their skepticism when they heard this was a free service.
First, if someone offers free, you're skeptical, but believe me, all the people who have come through there and gone through it, experience and say, we love it, it was great, and put away all the fears that they had.
Well, sure, as soon as you hear the word free, you don't believe it, but it's true. It doesn't cost a thing.
Maybe a little, but I was confident that I knew Scott had taken classes and kept up to date on all the tax laws.
Never apprehensive at all. When my son-in-law was doing it, who would doubt his veracity?
Why would you recommend this ministry to others?
It was fantastic. I went to his house, went there with my kids. My kids went in and were reading books and playing while I sat there with Scott and took care of my taxes.
That he was very knowledgeable in what he was doing, and I fully trusted him to do that, and I had never met him before.
Scott is a true man of God. I mean, he is trustworthy in every aspect, and when you know somebody's character, you can trust them with your personal information.
He can handle pastors, he can handle businessmen, he can handle just the average Joe with their tax needs, and I'd encourage you to check him out.
Everybody likes free, but it's a peace of mind that goes along with it. It was done correctly.
I was really concerned about how I was going to get my taxes done because I knew at the time I couldn't afford it. I prayed to God, and He opened up the door through the ministry, and then the next year I not only utilized the ministry but also had the opportunity to serve, which was also a tremendous blessing.
There's no gimmicks. I mean, I think if I paid $145 single, $175, and this is free. Now, I do know he's accepted pies now and then, but...
If you're out there trying to make this happen yourself, I can promise you, you are not doing it right. You are not. And he showed me things that I never knew for years that we could have been doing, and we just didn't know.
I used to pay big money to get my taxes done all the time, and Scott confronted me about doing them for nothing. I got a larger return and paid nothing. It was totally free system, and I got more back than I've ever gotten back before.
Very honest, trustworthy, and confidential.
To everybody, I've been spreading the word.
Yes, no doubt at all. I would definitely recommend it to all my friends and family. Anyone who wants a free service, they couldn't do better.
It will truly be a blessing in your life.
Not only would I recommend it, I'd say hurry up, get it done, and tell people about this. It's a wonderful thing. It is a ministry.
I brought several people into it that get their taxes done through Scott now, and they're all very thankful that I brought them to Scott.
Scott was a great guy to work with, and for those who would need something as a gift or a blessing to have their taxes done for free, it's a great opportunity.
It's not like getting your taxes done. It's more of a relationship and just being a friend with your accountant, if you will, who's not out to make a gain. So he's blessed by it and he enjoys it. Whoever likes to enjoy doing numbers and doing taxes may seem crazy, but he really enjoys it. Just genuinely loves it. You know, he says a number of times, numbers are his thing, and not mine. Thank God that he's there for me.
Over the past several years, the tax ministry team here at New Life Worship Center has been doing a phenomenal job in preparing taxes for those in our congregation. The past couple years, it has spread from just doing returns for people in our church to opening it up to people within the Altoona area, different churches, and even those out of state. Scott Seifer and his ministry team have done a fabulous job in offering this free service. We couldn't be more happy with the opportunity to touch people and help them, and just to see what God can do through something that many people look at and think is a challenge and difficult, and what a wonderful opportunity we have and we have seen, and what a blessing it has been for our church, for our community, and we're just excited for what more God is going to do in and through this ministry. So we encourage you, if you're interested, get a hold of Scott Seifer, get a hold of this tax ministry team, and see what they can do for you.
I had people where I have $13 in my bank account right now, and I don't know where I'm gonna, I just have no idea what's gonna happen. So they reach out to me, somebody that they're like, I don't even know if this guy's real, you know, and what he's saying. And this has happened to me where they reach out, they get a refund, and they go, you just don't know how much you helped me. You don't know how much, you know, I had less than $50 in my bank account. I didn't know how I was going to make it to my next pay. But now I know there's money coming. I know that there's money coming that will help out. Those are the ones that I know when I look at it, I know God's in it. I know God's working in the ministry. You know, it might be a different way of working, but this ministry will actually not only just provide hope for people, but provide funds for churches. Like I said, it'll go back in. If I have a person from another church coming through and saying, you know, I want to donate into this, you know, it is a free service, but I have people, I want to donate into the ministry. I'll ask them, where do you go to church at? And if they tell me, I'm going to tell them, put that donation into your church. It needs to build your church up. It needs to build the kingdom from your church up. Okay, it needs to just work in your church. And plus you get the tax benefit around.
That's all the time we have today. Thanks for watching Joy in the City True Stories. Let me encourage you to watch other episodes of people and organizations having an impact in our community through Facebook and YouTube channel. Then join us back here next week at the same time for another True Story episode. Be encouraged because God is moving in our city.